All right, hello. Welcome to Ep.1 of the College Conversation. Right here, we just interview different colleges and college students to learn about student life and about what it's going to be like if you go to this school. So today I am joined with
Anusha.
Yes, I'm joined with Anusha. She goes to Arizona State University. And could you mention what grade you're going into? What year you're going into?
Yeah, I'm gonna go into my second year of college as an undergrad.
That's good. All right. So my name is Manuela and I am hosting for today. And so let's get into it. All right. So what is your college major?
I am currently majoring in sociology and history.
Mhm. So why'd you choose that major?
Yeah, so the reason why I chose sociology was because I took a Soc 101 class when I was a business major previously, and it interested me to pursue this path because I looked at the major map and the required courses, and it just seemed a lot more interesting than my business courses. So I decided to switch to that. And then I added on history because I've always enjoyed history since I was very young, just
Mhm.
learning about like how we got here, how society developed. So that's why I'm majoring in both of those.
How are the professors for those classes?
Yeah, they're very passionate about what they teach, especially with history. It's just not regurgitating or memorizing facts. It's like actually trying to apply those facts into your like your essays, teaching you how to analyze documents, how to argue. Like history's not just about memorizing facts. It's also learning about like how to argue, how to support yourself with credible evidence. So that definitely helped me a lot in that sense. And then sociology, because it talks a lot about like society and different institutions and different like social constructs, you can really apply it to modern day times. So whatever's going on currently, like I can totally relate to what the professors are talking about.
Mm-hmm. What about the course load? Is that a lot or?
Um, like luckily I came in with a lot of AP credits, so it was very easy for me to double major with sociology and history. But the nice part about it is that the courses are kind of pretty similar. Both of them do have like that societal component into it, so the workload isn't too bad. It's just a lot of writing, especially for history. Sociology is more of the typical, like, oh, can you memorize the information and try to apply it? Or like just take a quiz on it. So it's not that bad. And I'm very interested in sociology too. So it's very easy for me to grasp onto those concepts and make my workload a lot more easier and like more engaging.
Yeah. In regards to getting help and support, how much do you think your teachers and other administrators do you think they're generally helping you with school?
Yeah, so we have advisors for each of the different majors at Arizona State. They're very approachable. They're there for you. They have resources. If they don't have the exact answer to, they'll direct you to different faculty or different resources within the college. So they're very approachable in that sense. And then they help monitor your major map too. So let's just say like you're ahead on schedule or you're behind, they'll give recommendations on what you should do next semester. And also like we have study abroad too. So they talk a lot about different study abroad programs that you'll be able to participate into and like how that will fulfill like your credits for your major. So they help a lot in that sense too. Like when you need help, like just go ask, like they have the answers, and it's like wouldn't be the best bet if you just leave it, because then it's going to come and hurt you in the long run.
Do you think it's easy to get do they really help you if you want to study abroad? Is it a large application pool, or do you think they just support you in that sense?
Yeah, so I guess you could say like with the more popular programs like in Europe and only like maybe the programs that only take very few kids. Yeah, usually like people get into whatever study abroad program that they get. It's just like the money and cost factor. Like scholarships are usually pretty competitive to get,
Mhm.
so that's also something to be mindful of. So I'd recommend like doing the research for the study abroad and trying to make the case on why you want to go and why you'd be the best candidate for that.
Mm-hmm. You spoke on scholarships and stuff. So, like, did you get any scholarships going to ASU? Like, do you know if they give out a lot or is it like very few?
Yeah, luckily as a public school, ASU has a lot of connections and partnerships with other local or even large scale organizations to
Mm-hmm.
give money. So I got the presidential scholarship because I maintained a decent GPA and ACT score. So
Mm-hmm.
I got the highest level of merit aid. And also I applied for other outside ASU scholarships too. So such as the National Honor Society Scholarship, I ended up getting that too. So that really helped pay for my tuition, even though I'm an in-state student, like I'm almost going for free. So that really helped. And then within the sociology school, they have scholarships specifically just for sociology students. So I got one of those too. So that really helped once again to pay for my tuition. So taking advantage of the different scholarship opportunities that each school and or college has to offer is great because you're just competing with a smaller pool of applicants, and it's more likely that you'll be receiving money too.
Mm-hmm. So, like, you're saying, like, ASU like supports the students financially?
Oh yeah, big time.
Okay. What about like in others or areas of support, like maybe mental health? Do you think it's good at that, or like having
Yeah.
counselors? ASU?
Yes. Yeah, great question. So we are trying to expand our resources for mental health and trying to place more emphasis on physical well-being. So I'm in the honors college. So each, I guess like every week, they always host some sort of like wellness like programs, like before social distancing was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a gym at the honors college and they'd be hosting like classes on Zumba or weightlifting. And then we have a dining hall too, of course. So they teach you like how to eat healthy, how to cook healthy. So definitely like the ASU and the honors college community take that into very like a high consideration. We're
Mm-hmm.
also trying to focus a lot of our efforts too on diversity and racial equality too, making sure that everyone is being included. I know that the honors college is trying to hold more discussions and as well as setting up committees to do a curriculum audit. So making sure that the curriculum, like the books, come from a variety of different authors from different backgrounds. So they are going to be setting that up too. So we're like doing a lot of things in the works, especially with being such a big university. Like there's so much going on in like each of the different areas, whether if it is like innovation and technology, diversity, mental health, like there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Like, what does it look like to be in the honors college, and like, what do you do specifically in that school?
Yeah, so with the honors college, it's geared more towards people who like a challenge or want to do extra work to gain that honor and recognition. Specifically for honors students, like we just have to take about 36 honors credits, and that's usually easy to get because like any class that you take, you can make it an honors class easily. You just have to do something extra, like doing a project or presentation. So
Mm-hmm.
I've done that, especially with my sociology class. Like I like dove in about like gender roles in entertainment, and that just made me really interested, like getting into sociology. So definitely I took advantage of that. We also have like a national scholarship office that is just specific for us. So if you want to apply for the big name like Fulbright, Marshall, Mitchell scholarships, they have like one-on-one sessions that you can meet with like faculty who have like are very like adept in essay writing and interview.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a leadership center too, so they host a lot of like events, combining like maintaining personal and academic life, how to grow as a person, how to stand out for your career. So we have a lot of those opportunities too.
Yeah. You've mentioned like diversity and stuff. Like, how diverse would you say ASU is?
Oh yeah, definitely like one of the most diverse places like in Arizona. I gotta tell you, we have such a big international student body. I think we've got like people from over like I think like 150 countries. It's really big and amazing. We have like a really big international student center too. And
Hmm.
also what I think is cool about the campus is that we have like a Native American center and building. So I kind of like the way how the campus is kind of like broken up into like different cultural sections that you can check out. And also like demographically speaking, we have a lot of people from like different races. I know when I went to high school, it was just predominantly either white or Asian or even like Hispanic too. But I'm glad to see like at ASU, like we have people from all over the world and from different races.
Yeah, my school is predominantly white. It's hard out here, but all right. So like, just talking about like the physical location of the school, like, do you like the area, and the town like surrounding it?
Yeah, at first when I was gonna go to ASU, I wasn't a big fan. I was like, oh, I'm still close to home, half an hour out. But surprisingly, it feels like you're in another state because you're very close to Phoenix, which is the capital of Arizona. So you're very close to the airport and downtown. And Tempe like has kind of like a combination of a big town and not big town, like a big city and small town kind of vibe. So
Mhm.
like definitely during the weekends, I take advantage of exploring the city a lot more. It's a great city too, and also it's not as expensive as other cities like New York or San Francisco.
Boston, yeah.
So yeah, like taking advantage of that, I'm really glad that I could before like the pandemic started.
Oh yeah, you had your year cut short too.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Yep.
sad. Like, okay, with what happened, like, was it easy to like go around the campus? Like, is it too big? Like, do you like the size or?
Yeah, it's definitely way too big. Like since I'm in the honors college, I'm far away from everything. So it takes like 20 minutes to walk to my classes. I can understand why they want to make it big because they just have such a large student bodies, like student population. So yeah, at times it can be very hard to navigate where you're going. I know I struggled a lot too. Like it took me 3 weeks to get used to where all my classes are. I'm kind of worried now. I'm slowly starting to forget how
Oh.
ASU looks like just because haven't been there for a while. But yeah, it's a
Hmm.
very big campus.
Like, since it's big, did they have like any transportation, like shuttle buses or?
Yeah, we have something called the flash bus. So
Mhm.
it can get really hot out here, especially during the summer, springtime. So students can like go on a bus and they can get to one side of the campus and they have another bus coming back like to get to the other side of campus. I forgot the times exactly when they operate, but they're pretty like they're used pretty frequently during the afternoon, especially. And then if people don't feel comfortable walking in the night, we have something called a safety escort run by our student government. So a lot of people take advantage of that too. They'll just like
Mhm.
pick you up where you are by just giving them a call, and then they'll drop you off at where you want to be dropped off at.
That's amazing. Like, speaking of safety, like, how safe would you say the campus is?
Yeah, I would say, like, I guess I'd say like in the middle, like, yeah, it's pretty safe. We also have like the blue light, like, police state, like the calls, like the phone booths, like, so what, just in case if you don't feel safe, they place them like in a lot of spots too. ASU is also pretty well lit too. And it's
Mhm.
usually even pretty during the nighttime too. Like, sorry, pretty busy. You still see like people playing soccer at like 9 or 10 o'clock. So when I'm walking during that time, I feel pretty safe. I also like try to like talk to someone just so that I can feel safe and they could have my location in hand. So I try to do those small things as well. But I know like if you go a little bit into the city, it can kind of get a little bit unsafe. But overall, like just within the campus, like it's good.
Mhm. Like, at your school, is it hard to make relationships with others, like friendships or anything like that?
I thought that was going to be a big problem, just how big this school is, but like especially with the honors college, like it's not really hard because like when you go into the dining hall or your floor, like you see a lot of the same people and you start to develop conversations with them, and soon you'll become close with them. Like that's what happened to like a couple friends and like myself. Like I just met them like at a floor meeting and we instantly like became friends. So, and then I like called her over like when I was hanging out with my roommate. So.
Oh, like your roommate. Speaking of roommates, I've heard a lot of like roommate horror stories. Like, is it good with you and your roommate? Like, do you like having a roommate?
Yeah, I definitely loved having a roommate. It was also definitely like an interesting living experience too, because it's like you're not living with your family. So I
Mm-hmm.
really liked having a roommate. She was great. Like I know that like I've known her since seventh grade too, and she's also like involved with Culture Talk as well too. But
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, she's like we definitely kept a balance too, like with curfew and as well as just like having people over and like went to study, like maintaining the times. So I think we had a good balance of that. I know like certain people like didn't get along with their roommates, and like I've heard horror stories about that, but I'm glad I didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
encounter those.
It's all about conversation at the end of the day too, like being
Yeah.
able to just speak. Um, like dorm rooms, that's like a very big question that people have. Like, how are the dorms at ASU?
Yeah, so I lucked out again, like with the honors college, like I didn't have to deal with communal bathrooms, so I might not be able to speak for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but like it was like pretty nice. Like I the dorms are probably a lot smaller than like people who don't have a bathroom in their like dorm, but it was the space. Like I just had to learn how to work in like that such small space, but I mean, I thought it was doable. So, and yeah, I just that perk of having a bathroom like really saved me. And we lived right close to the dining hall too, so it was like easy access
Mm-hmm.
for food too.
So, like, if you are, what's it called, in the other dorms, like, do they all have communal bathrooms except for the honors college, or is it just like the undergrad dorms?
Actually, yeah, sorry, I should have brought that up, but all dorms in ASU except for like couple halls, they don't have communal bathroom. Like everyone will get their own, or they have to share
Okay.
like 3 or 2 people. So
All right. Are there any like private rooms like you can just be by yourself, or is that a whole other thing?
yeah, actually there is that thing. Like I know the honors college does that too. I'm pretty sure the other dorm halls do that as well. I just haven't heard anyone do that. But there's a common thing where it's like a person has their own room, but they share a bathroom with another person.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty common in Barrett. I'm not sure how common it is on the other dorms, but those are just common living spaces at ASU.
Okay. Another question is the dining halls. Like, how's the food at ASU?
Yeah, so there is one dining hall that I absolutely despised. It's called Pitchforks. I hated it. I was like, the serving size was so small, and I'm also a really picky eater too. So just some of the food was like really salty or soggy. I was like, I can't do this. But they have really good pizza though, so
Mm-hmm.
tops up for that.
Yeah,
But I was like,
pizza's all you need.
yeah, but I was like, I can't live eating pizza for 5 days a week. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely the Barrett Dining Hall had a lot more diverse options. Like we had a stir fry line on Thursdays, like every Thursday for lunch. They'd have sushi. They'd also have like a grill station. So if you wanted to get a burger, they had that too. They also tried to balance with healthy eating too. So they have a vegan section and as well as like a salad bar too. So
Mm-hmm.
I tried to take advantage of those too. And yeah, I definitely like Barrett a lot better in terms of like meal plan because they had a lot more like diversity in cuisine and as
Mm-hmm.
well as like more healthier options.
That's good. I'd love to go to a school that has like, not just one thing to have, but like
Mm-hmm.
different options. What's it
Yes,
called?
for
What
sure.
are like the meal plans? So, and like the amount of money for each meal?
Yeah, so you have like different meal plans that you can choose from, which you will pay alongside your tuition and boarding. But we have like 10 meals per week. So you basically have 10 meals per week. And then I know that if you're a non-honors student and you want to eat at the honors dining hall, you have to pay $3 extra. And then, but for us, like we can eat anywhere. We don't have to pay an extra fee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we also have like 12 meals per week. That's the one that I got. I felt like that was a bit too much because I did not use all 12 meals in a week. So there's that. And then there's also unlimited meal plans too. So like you don't have a limit on how much you can eat. So
Like how many meals do you have per week, would you say?
oh yeah, that's a great question because we have like restaurants within our campus. So sometimes I'll just go and eat there, but that doesn't count towards your meal plan.
Okay.
So I'd say, man, I've only used like half of the 12 in a
Really?
week. Yeah.
Like do you usually eat a lot, or is it like you just thought like it was too much? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I just thought it was too much because I was like, I wasn't a fan of like dining hall. So
Okay, so it's probably a good idea to get like a lower meal plan, I guess.
yeah,
Makes
definitely.
sense. All right. Another question that's very common is like favorite study spots, People want to know where to study.
Oh yeah, big time. So we had a lounge on our floor, so I also wanted to use that too. So I've used that before. I've honestly mostly studied at the dorm or our library. We have like three big libraries in our campus, so I took advantage of that again. Yeah, I usually like studying in my dorm. Like I said, I didn't have any problems with my roommates, so it was like easy for me to study at the dorm. I also like during the weekends sometimes would go to the library too. That was fun. And then yeah, I think that's pretty much the big study spots. But also we have like other classroom buildings, and especially like for the honors students, like honors hall, they have like couches and like a cafe there. So a lot of people will go there and study as well.
hmm Like how like busy are the libraries?
Yeah, great question. They're usually pretty busy in the afternoon. If you go more towards the evening or nighttime, they're less busier. I feel like in the morning or afternoon, it's a lot more busier.
hmm Um, when in regards to classes that you have, do you say they're more like lecture based or discussion based classes?
Yeah, so that totally boils down to the major. I know, especially starting off first semester, there were a lot more lecture based. With me for these past couple of semesters, like spring and this coming semester, they're more discussion based because they're a smaller class. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's not like obnoxiously small or not obnoxiously big. So that's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know, especially with like COVID-19, what our college is doing is that they're going to make all lecture classes go online because lectures usually have about 400 to 500 students in one room.
Mhm. Like, oh, speaking of COVID-19, like, how was that with your school? Do you think they responded well, or like, do you think the classes are working nicely online?
Yeah, I think they definitely responded a lot more better than like our state itself. But I feel like they're just kind of rushing into the process because, like with ASU, you have so many people from different countries and different states, and it's like if they're all coming from different hotspots, then the cases are going to surge again. So
Yeah.
I feel like we should just remain online, and then just keep the dorms open just in case if someone else has nowhere to go. So I understand that. But yeah, we're doing hybrid learning. So like, let's just say you have a class Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday you go online, and then Thursday you would go in person. But I don't know like how long that's going to keep continuing because I know the situation is very fluid, so it's going to keep changing. There's also like events, like we focus a lot. I do a lot of civic engagement work. That is going to be all online because you can only have in-person events with 10 people or less.
hmm Like, similar to that, like, your school, does it provide like community service or like, any organizations to do any like charity work, any stuff like that?
Yeah, we're very open to new student orgs or new student like just organization ideas. So I got to apply for funding, sorry, like on an unrelated note, like they have a lot of funding opportunities that you can take part of. I won funding for my idea and it's so far going well. So I'm really grateful for the support that ASU has with student org and just organizational ideas. They really support that because they're all about like entrepreneurship and innovation. But yeah, like they're also trying to like make like especially with incoming freshmen, like knowing what clubs are available. Like that's a big in-person event. but they're going to make it online and accessible so that students can still be involved in an online setting.
Mm-hmm. So like, you know how you have your own organization, Culture Talk. Like, your school's been supporting you with Culture Talk?
Yeah, they've helped me with that. So I applied for funding through another organization that's part of ASU. I won $500 from that. So I don't know what I'm going to invest it in yet, but I'm hoping to like maybe invest it in like new services that our organization could fund. And
Mm-hmm.
also like starting a club too. Like they're very supportive of that. They always encourage students, like if you don't see a club that like you want, but it's not on the like Sun Devil Sync, that's where you find all the clubs, like then just start one, find people, find advisors. So they're very supportive in that too. And they're very responsive with emails too. Like if you have any questions about starting a club. So
Does ASU have a variety of clubs that they provide?
Mhm. Yeah, from the most silliest clubs to the most serious clubs, yep, we have it all. Like we have like bunch of TV show, like watch party clubs.
Mm-hmm.
We have Greek life. We have political, social clubs, and then the cultural clubs too,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is really cool.
Speaking of like Greek life, do you think that's a prominent thing of the campus or no?
Yeah, I definitely think it is. It's luckily we're a big campus, so it's like not like a big part of it. I know in other like colleges, like especially down in the South, and especially like University of Arizona too, like their Greek life is more prominent and large. But yeah, I just say like we're kind of in the middle. Like there's still a presence. Like I'm just trying to explain it a better way. Like there's still a presence, but like not as big as like other colleges, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion.
So it doesn't like take over everything.
No.
Okay, that's good. What's it called? For clubs and activities, like, is it easy to join some of those?
Oh yeah, like I think it was a lot easier to join compared to like when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like so many different clubs. Everyone is just trying to recruit people. If you have a question, they're always ready to answer them because they want people to join, and they're very excited when people say that they're interested. So they're very like flexible and excited about like answering
Mm-hmm.
any questions or concerns someone may have.
Mm-hmm. Do you know about sports? Like, are sports a big part of the school?
Yeah, coming from a high school who focused a lot on sports, I would say I think ASU does give a good balance with academics and sports. But yeah, one of the major sports is obviously, of course, football. I think like the gymnast team has been gaining like importance and like notice. So there, it's also big too. And then there's also smaller sports like tennis, I think water polo too, like that have also been gaining like large notice too. So yeah, we definitely do give a lot of notice to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Which student do you think would love to go to ASU? Like, what's the perfect student for Arizona State?
Man, that's a good question. I know, I'm trying to think of that too. Someone who just wants to save money and like still get quality education, like that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely for them. And also if they want that like small college feel, I recommend them checking out Barrett. Like a lot of people coin it like you're in a small liberal arts school, but in a larger university, which is still nice because you still have the sports, those interested in Greek life, you have that. And also ASU just has a lot of resources like academically to get involved in. Like I'm a research aide for a couple projects too. Like if I went to another competitive university, like I don't know how likely that would have been for me to get those opportunities because I'd be competing with a larger pool compared to ASU with like a lot less larger pool.
Is ASU like good at getting people getting research opportunities and like
Oh,
internships?
Oh yeah, we've got like big connections. Like we work a lot with the McCain Institute, especially like for those interested in like policy, foreign relations. They host a study abroad program which is called the Policy Design Studio. So you go to DC for 4 months and you just like learn about policy and how that's developed, and then you kind of act as like policy advisors and diplomats. So you kind of get that hands-on experience, which I'm really grateful for that ASU has that to offer, because not a lot of schools have this program. Like everyone who I've talked to at the institute was like, man, I really wish I had this program at my school. So it's just those different unique hands-on opportunities that ASU has to offer. Like that's what it really stands for those who want to experience their career field and get that hands-on learning.
Yeah. What about like getting careers? Like after you graduate, do you think that ASU supports students in getting jobs?
Oh yeah, big time. Like whether if you're going into engineering or graduate school, definitely like ASU has resources for that. Like just within our graduating class, we have a lot of people doing Fulbright. Basically, it's just like a prestigious study abroad scholarship where you get to spend a year in the country, either doing research or being an English teacher's assistant. So there's been like quite a bit of people going to be doing that. There's also people who are going to join right away to the workforce. Some of them are working in Facebook, Google, different large companies. And then you have people going into graduate school, like big names like Harvard Law, Johns Hopkins is public school, public health college. So you have a lot of people going everywhere, and ASU has those resources to support people who want to have their dreams come true.
Yeah. Like what's the graduation rate you would say?
Yeah, I honestly don't know for that part. I know for the honors college, it might be between 80 to 90%. I read somewhere it was like the overall ASU graduation rate was 50 to 60%, but I could be wrong.
Like, is it 4-year graduation, 5-year, like 6-year? How long does it take usually?
4 years. And then
4 years?
usually some people come in with a lot of dual or AP credits, so they might finish it in 3 years.
Okay. Okay, like what's another question that I had? Oh yes, back to classes. Would you say that the classes are more taught by professors or by like teaching assistants?
Definitely professors. Usually the teacher assistants are just there to like host their own sessions. Like let's just say you need tutoring, like they're usually the go-to people who you would want to like contact. And then they're just usually there for like additional help or support.
So like teaching assistants are there for academic support?
Yeah.
All right. And is it free for that academic support?
Yeah, like I'm gonna be a TA for one of my classes. We get course credit, or sometimes they'll give a stipend. It just depends on what the college is. So, like I'm gonna be TAing for like a class at the honors college, so I'm gonna get honors credit for it.
Which class?
So it's a mandatory class that all honors students have to take. It's called Human Event. It's basically learning about like reading text about like from different periods of time, just about like different themes like independence, gender, religion. That's why that also really sparked my interest in taking sociology too, because just reading those texts, I was like, man, I could really connect those ideas and themes together.
Would you say that like ASU's like focuses on like an open curriculum like Brown or like a core curriculum like Columbia? Like which one? Do you think they have like a certain curriculum that they follow? Like people have to take mandatory classes? Is that a part of the thing?
Yeah. So for me, especially like when you look at your major map, like you do have the freedom to choose your classes, but there are 1 to 2 that you have to take. Especially for first year students, you have to register for something called ASU 101, which is the ASU experience. So this is based on your specific college you're in, whether it's the engineering college, business college. It's just to get to know about like what the business college is about, what services and opportunities you can take part in the business school. That's why all freshmen have to take that class. And then also for me, like I had to take a modern social problems class my second semester of freshman year because that was just required for my major. And then for this semester, I was just required to take a sociology elective. So with your major, they just like are like, hey, take any class you want, but at least one of those classes needs to be a sociology or history class.
Okay. So like, what do you think is like the average GPA to get into the school?
Yeah. I know, like I said, it kind of changes with the honors college. It's usually a 3.75 or 3.8, but I think overall for ASU, it might be a 3.0. I could be wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely like 3.0 would be ideal to get.
It's like B average and up.
Yeah, I've even seen people with 2.5 get into, so
Mm-hmm.
that,
It's like
yeah.
it's all about essays. Do you think it's more of like, do they care more about the grades or essays when they're admitting students?
So if you're just going to like the regular ASU path, not through the honors college, then essays don't really matter. It's just your GPA and test score. They just want to see if you meet the benchmark, which is 1120 on the SAT. And the GPA might be between a 2.5 to 3.0. And then for the honors college, your essays big time matter and your extracurricular. So like applying to the honors college is like applying to just like kind of like a private school application. So
Yeah.
it has its own application process.
Okay. Also, what do you wish you knew before you went to your school?
Oh man, that's a great question. Trying to think. Yeah, taking a part of like the different scholarship programs that they have to offer. They have something called the leadership scholarship program, and I kind of wish I got into that and got involved in it more because it's a 4-year program. They get like really cool opportunities um, like leadership experiences in the summer. Like they get to go to like different camps. They're usually recognized at the different football games. Like obviously I don't want to do it for the recognition, but like bonding with like 15 to 20 people, like that's an amazing experience. And it's like kind of like a family. So I kind of wish I did that.
Mhm. So, what do you hate the most about your school?
Yeah, so usually like it's a public school, right? So like we kind of get that like when you say that you're from ASU, it's like, oh, like it's a party school. So just kind of like the people like they look down on it, but then when you say that you're from the honors college, they're like, "Oh, okay, that's good." So kind of just we're like changing like the perceptions on ASU. Like that's what I hate about it. Like we're not just a party school. Like we have so much more like um I don't know why that doesn't get covered or shown more. Like, yeah, we keep saying that we're number one in innovation, but we're just so much more than that.
Yeah. What's the thing you love the most about your school?
Yeah. I like how diverse it is. You have faculty from all over the world, and you have students from all over the world, and they take very good care and consideration of the international students too. I also like the just like how welcoming they are to students. Like there's like basically the sky's the limit kind of deal. So it's just like do anything that makes you happy and we will help you out with your academic and personal life because that's what we're here for.
Hmm. If you could change anything that your school does, what would it be?
Yeah, definitely. Man, I just don't like the lecture classes. I definitely feel like reducing those numbers, that would be really great. Kind of breaking down because I want to have that one-on-one
Hmm.
relationship with my professor, and it's really hard to get that from a lecture. And I know some students might be intimidated to do so. So having like breaking down the lecture classes into smaller class size would be really great. I know that's like cheesy answer, but like sitting in a lecture class, I'm like, man, I wish I like took it, like had it in such a smaller like class size.
Yeah. The class is like really big.
Yeah, the lecture, especially your intro classes, they're really big.
About how many students would you say?
I said about 438, between 400 to 500 students. Yeah,
How long are you in the room for?
50 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, at least it's not like 90 minutes long like some classes.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's a large class. I thought you were gonna say like 100 or like maybe 120,
Nope.
400 something, almost 500. Wow, that's
Yep.
that's something else. All right, and so just one more thing, like comparing like the STEM and humanities majors, how would that be?
Oh yeah, like I know I'm doing a lot of research on this because I'm like trying to help increase voting. So I feel like especially more with the humanities majors, a lot of them are more like civically engaged and just trying to be more politically active. I'm not necessarily saying that the STEM majors aren't. It's just they have a lower voter turnout, and they're usually like more cooped up on focusing on their work, because I know it can be very overwhelming. A lot of tests. The classes are very hard and very complex. And also with humanities too, it's like a lot more writing. So it's like total opposite spectrums with STEM and humanities. But one thing that I like to say is, like, when you think of research, you immediately associate it with STEM, at least for me. And I was really worried I wouldn't find research opportunities in the humanities or social science fields. But ASU does an amazing job, like offering those opportunities for those people who are in the humanities and social sciences fields to get involved in research. So yeah, that's just like pretty much like difference and similarities with STEM and humanities.
I'm gonna end it off on a good note. So like, what's the weekend like, or like, what are some fun things you do when you're not doing work?
Yeah, we go to Mill a lot. So that's just basically like where the restaurants are. We have a movie theater there, so like a lot of good movies come out. So like we just go to the movies like every weekend, and then we go and get dinner and then walk around Mill. So I think that's really nice and a very less stressful Saturday. And then I write for my newspaper, so we have our meetings on Sunday. So it's very like light and more chill compared to like your average week.
That's good. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you coming out here, even though it's on a virtual conference, whatever.
You're
But
good.
thank you for joining us. And this is the end of episode 1 for the college conversation. Stay tuned for our next one. And yes, thank you.